Hey there, and welcome to episode 24. That's what we're on, right? Yeah, episode 24. This is the art of upselling, and I freaking love this one. As a matter of fact, I don't know when this episode is going to air in a couple of weeks, I think, but next week, which will be the first Tuesday in November. So, November 5th or 6th. So, first Tuesday in November, we have our monthly Mac Daddy office hour calls. And every call, we have a different theme. And with the theme is usually I'll do some type of presentation for like the first half of the call on a new topic, of course, a theme, a topic, whatever. So this one in November is very similar to this subject, and it's about employee contests. And we have a great presentation planned and a bunch of really great ideas for all different ways to run employee contests and the benefits of them. One of them being increased sales. Yep, that's probably the most common one, and that's a great benefit of them. But there are other benefits as well you can get from running different types of contests. And we have examples and all kinds of fun stuff. And I think that kind of goes hand in hand with upselling. As a matter of fact, I know it goes hand in hand with upselling, especially when we're talking about the server contest. So I'd like to start off by first giving you my thoughts about upselling. I think that everybody kind of comes to the table with their different beliefs on upselling. I think that there is a whole group of people out in the world who think that upselling is a bad thing, that it's salesy, it's greedy, it's over the top, etc. You know where I'm going with that. I just want to make sure that we start off by saying that is absolutely not what upselling is. Not, or it doesn't have to be. I suppose let me just backtrack. I suppose there are some salespeople out there that might be upselling for the wrong reasons. Possibly. I do not think. I mean, I'm sure there are. I do not think that is the majority at all. And if that's what you've run into in your experiences in life, apologies for that. That's terrible. But let's just set that aside because that is not the norm. Upselling is supposed to be, and what it's about is bettering the experience of the person that you're selling to. It should be something that is very, very appreciated. I know that I am absolutely appreciative if I'm out in the world buying something and they're trying to upsell me to my benefit. Absolutely. And I think that we should be discerning enough customers by now in almost any genre that we should be able to figure out, do we really need this upsell or not? I mean, maybe not if you're in your, teens or 20s and you don't really have that type of experience yet. You might be kind of on the fence, and maybe before you're allowed to be upsold, you go do some research first. That might be really beneficial. Ask around, ask people you trust. But overall, when we're in our, late 30s, maybe definitely 40s, 50s and up, I think that we have the life experience to be able to figure out if we need to be upsold or not to. And when we're not, I would say when I'm not, I feel like, wow, they're really missing the mark on this. So it's a couple of examples even outside of the restaurant industry that I know this to be true. One that comes to mind is a few years back, we sent out a very brief survey to our clients at the time, maybe 100 and some clients. We sent out a survey like, what could we be doing more of? If there's anything that we could do better, because I think at the time most people didn't want to say anything bad, even if they felt like we need improvement. They weren't going to say it. We really close, really good relationships with them, and nobody wants to be the bad guy, right? So we phrased it in a way like, listen, if there's anything else we could be doing, what would it be? And there wasn't a lot of feedback, I'll give you that. But the handful that we did get back, the most common was, I wish I knew more of what you did. Or really, like, I want to know other things that you can do that can help me even more. So in other words, we took that as, I wasn't being very good at communicating all the different benefits that we can provide to our small business clients. That's how I took that. And we try and make that better through our website and our, online outreach, and just always trying to highlight something different that we can do and give examples and stuff. So that's just one that those clients, that handful of clients that did speak up, they wanted to be upsold. They wanted to know. And I would say it would be the same if you're going to go buy a mattress. I mean, that's pretty important, right? A mattress is pretty important because that's your sleep, that's your back, it's your health. that, if you want to buy a mattress in a box that they sell on Amazon for, $99 or whatever, maybe that'll be fine for you. I'm not even dissing that, because that could be a fine mattress for you. But if you're someone that just like needs a certain softness or hardness in a mattress, you need kind of one that's really going to help you get a better night's sleep and thus be healthier. You might need to be upsold to a different mattress that's actually going to be worth the investment for you to be able to get the sleep that you need to be able to stay in tip-top shape and healthy and thriving, etc. Same with automobiles and what you want in a car. There's so many great reasons to upsell. So then we boil that all down and come in back into the restaurant, into the restaurant sphere. There are just so many ways to upsell that I feel are missed all the time. And that is easily in appetizers. Now, I know that I think that the overwhelmingly appetizer sales as a first course are down across the restaurants, like nationwide. People might be eating less, or they're saving money, whatever it is. I think you can combat that, not 100% of the time, but probably more often than you think, by just saying, hey, we have this item on the dish. It's great for sharing. Maybe it looks like there's a celebratory group of women or men or whoever that are out having a couple of drinks. Maybe they only plan on having a couple of drinks. So why not upsell and say, hey, I just wanted to mention that we have this great, whatever, buffalo chicken dish or something else. Maybe you mentioned something else that somebody doesn't eat, dairy or whatever. Say these are great for sharing. Goes great with a few beers. If you're interested, I'm happy to throw one in. You can share, but let me know. Like, I'm not saying be pushy or hard sell, but just the mentioning of it, especially in a group setting, can kind of gives the permission to someone in the group to be like, oh yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Throw one in. Without that upsell, without even mentioning like, hey, we offer this buffalo chicken dip. It's our house specialty. People come in for it. It's great for sharing. Without even that mention, you might have just missed that sale because nobody in the group wanted to speak up, right? So that's just one when it comes to appetizers. Now, another one easily for me is the side dish one. And I do not understand why more servers aren't recommending side dishes. Even in a restaurant where, let's say, the entrees come with the sides, right? Maybe you're at a place where you can pick one or two sides, or that's just the way the dish is prepared, that it comes with maybe a starch, vegetable, whatever it is, right? Even then, say you take the order and you realize everybody's kind of getting either the side salad or the rice or the mashed potato, whatever it is with their order. Maybe that's a great opportunity to say, and also, in addition to that, maybe you heard somebody kind of hemming and hawing, oh, should I get the fries? No, I'll get the rice. I don't know. Great opportunity to say, hey, we can do a side order of the. I heard you were mentioning the fries. You know what we can do? We could throw in a side order for the whole table. I could bring out some chipotle aioli with the ketchup on the side. It could even be a great appetizer. That's another thing. We could say, I can just bring that in. You can all share that. And I'll have a little bit with your entrees, because I heard. Great side sell. Same with the vegetable. If you just listening for things. I think that kind of all comes down to that listening, if you can, for things where people are like, oh, should I have this or should I have that? Whatever one they don't choose, say, you know what, we can offer that as a side, and then everybody can enjoy it. It's a no-brainer. It's just the mention. If they say, no, I'm good, then great. Then yeah, that you didn't lose, you didn't fail at all. I mean, I would say maybe set the bar for yourself if you're selling. If you say, okay, just try it. And if 1 in every 5 people say, okay, yeah, go ahead and throw that in for me. Maybe it's even 1 in every 10, then you're doing okay. It's set the bar. If it's out of every 10, not one person's going for it, okay, maybe try a different tactic or do something else, right? But just, it doesn't have to be everyone. 1 in 10, 1 in 5, you decide, it's worth it. And then, of course, there's the upsell of the desserts. That should go without saying. I think I have a whole other episode about that anyway. So there's the desserts. There's also drinks, coffees. I mean, I never order coffee after my dinner anymore. We're kind of like the chew and screw gang, right? We eat, it's good. Like, I want to go home, get my pajamas and watch Netflix, whatever. That's what I want to do. But I'm telling you, if a restaurant, any restaurant, maybe not fast food, but anything up beyond that, like does like a coffee service, and I'm not saying like you need to do some fancy schmancy like latte or whatever, but just like a cup of coffee, maybe on a saucer with like a spoon, like, and like you bring like and you maybe even pour it out of a pot, like that's kind of like a nice, like relaxing. It's kind of old school, maybe old fashioned in a way, but it's a nice way to kind of like relax and really, to be honest with you, help digest. Maybe it's tea, like that helps digest after you might have just had a big meal or a couple of drinks or whatever. So just upselling to say, hey, no dessert, great. Well, we offer this great coffee service, and maybe talk up the coffee. Maybe it's, slow roasted in Colombia. I don't know. Maybe make it up or maybe find out about it. But just the upsell, the offering, the suggestion can make a world of difference. And I think that the key is don't expect to sell every person. You're not, and that's more than fine. Set what you think the close rate on those is for you and aim for that. 1 in 10. 1 in 10 does it, you won. Because really, if you do the math on that, if you're able to sell 1 in 10 and then do the tip on that, and I know I'm talking to servers when it comes to this, but I mean, it's great for service. Obviously, it's great for restaurants in terms of more sales. So easy peasy, great way to upsell. And so you just need to teach this to your staff. And as I'm kind of teaching it to you in this episode, teach them in a way where you kind of give them the ammunition, the tools, the education, the tiny little bite-sized education. Say, hey, let's do this tonight. Maybe run a contest. Let's just see how many side dishes we can push out tonight. And of course, you're going to want to talk to the kitchen about that, just in case they're not prepared to all of a sudden have an onslaught of side dishes being sold. But so just do that. Just have an education, talk to the kitchen. Hey, what side dishes, if they're going to give you a bunch of stuff that doesn't sell, maybe have a better conversation. Like, yeah, that's not going to happen. Like, give us some ones like the fries or whatever that will sell. And maybe you only do it when it's not peak kitchen time. Say, okay, I'll tell the service to really push it between 5 and 6, and then maybe it again after 8, but we won't do it. Something like that, whatever works for you, but just try it. And then educate your staff on how to do it, maybe what to say, but in their own words. And then just say, hey, if we can just sell, if every server sells 1, maybe 2, whatever it is tonight, well, congrats, and we'll see what that means and how we do it next time. And it's just kind of fun. It gamifies it in a way, and that'll absolutely increase the bottom line. But not only that, for that night, just doing, I feel like, these contests and teaching ways to upsell where you're really like increasing the experience for the guest, not over the top, wham, bam, buy more from me, where you're really adding to the value and the experience of the time they're spending at the restaurant. Like, that's where we're coming from with this. So by listening for, things that they're hemming and hawing over, what they wanted to order, by mentioning, oh, here's an appetizer dish that's great for sharing, or a new dish that people are raving about, or maybe it goes great with the drink you just ordered, something like that. Same with the sides, same, dessert. And I know I've mentioned this in a couple episodes for desserts. Not everybody wants to commit to like a full on fork and spoon, I'm going to eat this, piece of cake or pie or whatever. So have something that is handheld, like, a petit four, they say, or like a mini cookies. Macaroons are popular, even candy, brownies, like something that you can put a plate in the middle and then people can share, and they just have a bite or two of something sweet, which would go lovely. Maybe it's biscotti with a lovely coffee. Like, that is a sell that you probably would not have gotten before without the suggestive upselling, and then of course in the way that it's presented. Okay, I know I've talked about some of these tactics before. Now I just pulled it all together in what we're going to call upselling, and how important it is, not only if you want to have a surge in sales, or you want to try and like get rid of something that's you've been sitting on. And of course you can do this with drinks too. Absolutely. I mean, I think I'm a little bit hesitant on pushing a lot of alcohol. I had already mentioned the coffee things. The other area, which I talked about before, that I'm still not seeing enough of, is the mocktails. I don't know why I'm not seeing. I know more and more restaurants have like their mocktail menu. It's got 3 items on it. I got it. Good for you. Keep going. But here's the thing with that. Don't just put it in a kiddie cup, or the cup that you serve water or soda in. Do it in a fancy glass. That's the whole point. This is how we're going to change the game on this. And I'm not talking about the changing the game on alcohol consumption. Honestly, care less with that. We're all adults. You should be responsible, period. I don't care. I am talking about creating a mocktail that can be served in a martini or a wine or a margarita glass or any type of fancy glass that non-drinkers don't aren't allowed to drink out of, and serve it in that. Make it fun. Add some candy, cotton candy, whatever it is, swizzle sticks. I don't care. Make it fun, because that is an I sell as well. So it's a hand sell right off the bat for kids, maybe older kids. You kind of feel the situation out with the family they're eating with. But if they're just looking for a Shirley Temple or something, you could just possibly point out, oh, we have these great, like a Shirley Temple, whatever. It's served in a fun. You can point that out for maybe men or women who just aren't drinking. Maybe it's afternoon, whatever it is. Also, oh, we have a great mocktail, some new things on there. Because even if you just say that, even if you just say we have some new things we're trying on there, the staff tried them. We're loving them. If you're interested, here's a hibiscus purple tea thing. I actually had that at a bar taco, and it was fantastic. I'm not even a tea drinker, and it was so pretty. This beautiful purple drink. It came with some basil, some fun stuff in it, and the only thing I wish is they served it in a different glass. It just came in a soda glass. I would have preferred it in like maybe a wine glass, and that would have changed the whole experience for me. All right, so I'm going on 16 minutes. I like to keep these under 20, so I hope that's just enough for you in terms of upselling, some ideas you can do in your restaurant, and I want to hear about them. I literally really want to hear about them. I do have a handful of people that do try some of the things that I've mentioned, and then will DM me on Instagram, or if you have my email, just email me straight or email me through the website and just say, oh, I tried this and this is what I'm doing for holiday, and I'll let you know how it goes. Or I tried this and oh my God, you're absolutely right. Like I sold $10,000 in a weekend. Yes, I want to hear this. Or I also want to hear, oh, I tried this and it sucked, and here's what my staff said. I want to hear that feedback too, because maybe I'll do another type of episode of, the negative feedback, and if how we come back or how we tweak things so it's better. Simple as that. So please, please, please share your feedback with me. Like, comment, share this podcast so that we can keep going. I love doing it, but we need to get it out there even more in the world. So please like, comment on it, and that puts it up in the search engines, and hopefully other restaurateurs or aspiring restaurateurs will take a listen and get something out of this. So as usual, thank you so much for listening, and I will see you on the next one.